Hello, 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 and welcome to another GSMC broadcast of the Wrestling Laureate Podcast. I'm your man, Eric Rodriguez, here with all your wrestling know-how, your one-stop shop for wrestling info, data, statistics, and basically, whatever you like, wrestling-wise. Thank you for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast. We have a pretty good show, set up for you guys today. We're going to start out with the Monday Night Raw review. Also, we have a WWE NXT preview and a couple storylines. We have WWE WrestleMania coming to Cleveland, Ohio. So that's a pretty big deal. And also, Muhammad Ali is now an inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame. This is pretty newsworthy because not a lot of people know why he exactly is you know, suitable to become like an inductee for the WWE, but hopefully let's further elaborate on that and let's get it going. Before I start, I'd like to ask you to go ahead and do your best Roman Reigns impression and Superman punch that like and subscribe button. And also, so throughout the show, we get a number of questions and viewers that come in during the show. And your questions, if they can get read on air. And honestly, I would really like to, go, go more in depth into communicating with the audience. Obviously, if you guys aren't having fun, um, you know, I'm not having fun. Sometimes I get a little lonely. I really would like, I would love the company. So just the tips and donations link. Go ahead and go to the gsmcpodcast.net for your questions, and your questions will post up on the top of the list. So once again, it's the gsmc podcast.net, and post your questions so we can talk. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, tell me your opinions, tell me some things I missed, tell me some things you want me to further, elaborate on. And all right, let's go ahead and get on into this. So, right now, Monday Night Raw is getting heated. It's getting pretty crazy right now, especially between the Bloodline, and basically everybody else on the Raw and SmackDown rosters. So, I don't know, like it's getting pretty cray cray. So the opening of Raw basically showed Seth Rollins trying to egg on Drew McIntyre to kind of get him to attack him, I guess, in the like in a sense. It's classic Seth Rollins mind games, something that he's actually very very good at. So and Seth Rollins straight up said to McIntyre that out of all the bloodline drama, out of all the stuff going on in his life, you're the least of my worries. And oh my God, that's like, if you're gonna fight somebody, that's the last thing you want to hear. So Drew McIntyre wanted, he wanted to go back there and beat his ass, but fortunately, he did not give in. I don't know what Seth's game is here, and he also accused him of liking the bloodline interfering in his matchups because why Drew McIntyre lost his chance at the Universal Championship against Roman Reigns was because of the bloodline. But now it seems like the shoe is on the other foot, and Seth Rollins is accusing him of liking the kind of, the backup, so to speak. He also called Drew McIntyre a hypocrite, because Drew McIntyre is very avid on hating on CM Punk constantly every week, celebrating that he's the one who ended CM Punk's not career, but I guess that that little spurt that he's trying to do in wrestling right now. So I don't know. That's kind of interesting. How I don't know. I think it's going to be a good match. I think right now they're kind of poking at each other right now. And Drew was right on one thing. If Seth Rollins but this is, the same in like any kind of sport. If you underestimate your opponent, you're going to get bit in the butt. And unfortunately, you're going to lose that World Heavyweight Championship if Seth Rollins doesn't, shape up and fly right. Um, and then moving on, the next match was Liv and Becky, and that was actually, I got to be honest, it was a pretty good match. The Liv she pushed Becky to her limits, And you can tell at the end of the match how Becky was kind of giving her like a little nod of respect. I think even Michael Cole actually elaborated on it. But and then later on in the show, you see Nia Jax attacking Becky Lynch, and all hell breaks loose. And Liv Morgan obviously kind of like, she doesn't want to seem like she's like on the side or trying to take advantage of an injured Becky Lynch. But then Becky Lynch she went ahead and challenged Nia Jax to a last woman standing match next Monday night. I don't think that was the best idea, especially if you have Rhea Ripley, coming out. And Rhea Ripley showed up after the match between Liv and Becky and basically accused the man, Big Time Bex, of if you're using these matchups for like an excuse because you know that you're not actually better than I am. Um, she basically told her like that's sad. Like, what are you doing? Like, I want you 100%, which is right. If you're in any kind of combat sport, either UFC, boxing, the WWE, you want the best of your opponent. So there's no excuse. You have the title, you're the best, you're all you can be, so to speak. So that was pretty crazy. But the way Becky kind of elaborated on how Ray Ripley was trying to like poke at her and say what she was doing was kind of like a weakness. But in reality, Becky kind of turned it into a plus. She said, when people are behind me, I'm good. But when people are doubting me, I'm great. That's pretty good right there. And to be honest, like not a lot of Ray Ripley's opponents like have that same mentality as Becky Lynch, so maybe Ray Ripley should be the one looking out. Kind of like I know this isn't wrestling, savvy, but kind of like if you get the first round seed in the NFL, how kind of it's like rust versus rest. Like do you want to be just sitting on the bench, resting and fighting your opponent who's been on a roll, who's been basically on a tear, who has all this momentum, and who has, I don't know, basically, still competed and has not took a break. Kind of has that momentum, shifting their way. So I would kind of be, on the tail of Becky Lynch as opposed to Rhea Ripley. But it should be a good matchup. It should be, I'm excited to tune in next Monday. So I hope you all too. Um, the next thing that I gotta say about the Raw review, and I know that there was so much to unpack in the show, like it's hard to just put it in like within a 15-minute segment. But Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce, general managers of SmackDown and Raw, announced a six-pack challenge at WrestleMania for the tag team titles against Damian Priest and Finn Balor. So this was pretty interesting because the Judgment Day was not happy. Obviously, like who would be knowing that come WrestleMania you're gonna have to defend your title against five different teams in a ladder match. So honestly, I am looking forward to this match. This has quickly came to be my favorite match of the evening. So either night one, night two, you bet your butt I'm gonna be, paying attention to that. So all right. And the next one that I kind of, I got that kind of shocked me was Candice LeRae basically talking mess to Renee Dupree, basically telling her that basically saying that the world is laughing at you. The locker room, the WWE universe, all of her colleagues or whatever, like whoever's involved in WWE are just completely just laughing at her, which is kind of sad. But that's classic WWE trash talk. But she kind of took it a step further. She said, "You don't belong here. You don't belong here." And she also went on and said, and I couldn't believe my ears when I heard this, and kind of Pat McAfee was shocked just as much as I was. She said it's good your dead brother isn't here to see this. Wow, like I don't know what WWE's kind of planning to do with between these two superstars, and but this is pretty personal. Like I can kind of see how LeRae is kind of playing that that heel, kind of turn. Maybe to create like a tag team match or like a one-on-one with Maxine Dupree. But I don't know. I think that kind of bringing in personal life into that kind of stuff. That's attitude. era-esque. So I guess, that was pretty crazy. But, we'll see what happens. The next kind of thing I wanted to talk about was Cody Rhodes' interview with Michael Cole. That was great promo. Great promo. A lot of people are hopping, more, definitely not on Cody Rhodes' shoulders. And Cody Rhodes specifically said it's not his story. It's basically everybody that has been affected by this bloodline error that this is our story. Basically, he kind of broke, the third wall there and kind of included us as a WWE universe into this storyline. Basically, that you're going to be watching WrestleMania and you're going to be with Cody, and then when Cody wins, you're going to be like, we beat the Bloodline, we beat Roman Reigns. So I don't know. I think that was very cool. Very cool. And he did get pretty emotional, especially after The Rock basically said he was a mistake. Which is that was pretty crazy. But then Cody slapped the taste out of his mouth, which was he deserved it. The Rock deserved it. You know what I mean? Like, bro, like just because you gross like probably over millions and millions of dollars annually because you're in wrestling entertainment. I think The Rock even has a couple of raps or a couple of like some music out. I listened to one rap and it was actually pretty decent. People chanting, But no, we're Cody Crybabies. We are Cody Crybabies. No, I'm not biased. I should be objective. We're not. But so that was pretty sad how we called it a mistake. Anybody hearing that from an outside source would be absolutely devastating. But another thing that they kind of touched on during the interview was that Michael Cole he told Cody, he was like, "Do you really trust Seth Rollins?" Seth Rollins, and this was something I kind of elaborated on a couple of podcasts ago. That a pretty good storyline would be Seth Rollins turning his back on Cody, but um, I don't know. Like this is classic WWE, and the reason why I'm having these kind of battles within myself is what the writers and this is what they feed off of. This is how they manipulate. Kind of like, I don't want to compare it to like a soap opera, but it's definitely more crazier than a soap opera. But no, like they're playing the heartstrings of the viewers. That classic persuasion. You want viewers to pay attention. You have the ethos, pathos, logos kind of appeal. But I don't know. It's kind of hard to trust Seth Rollins, but Cody said it himself. People change. He was tag team champions with Jey Uso for a little bit. He mentioned how Michael Cole used to be basically like a total, D-bag to all the other announcers and the superstars. And then he told how him and Seth Rollins, they do have a history, but if they're willing to put that all behind to take down this, treachery, to take down this dictatorship of the bloodline. So I don't know. I think that should be pretty interesting. And kind of move on. Dakota Kai helps the Kabuki Warriors stay the women's tag team championship, which is no surprise. Damage Control got to stay together, right? For to a certain extent, obviously without Bailey, but so they were able to retain, and I do like Asuka. I like Kairi Sane. Them as a tag team is incredible. As singles wrestlers, they're even better. So I think WWE is kind of doing pretty good with this women's tag team storyline. So hey, let's keep it up. The next one I got is DIY, even in the odds with the match between R-Truth and Damian Priest. DIY is obviously going to be part of that six-pack ladder match between the tag teams because they're hungry. They want to dethrone Finn Balor and Damian Priest, which is, I believe, I think it's about time that they would lose to Strat. Judgment Day has actually lasted longer than I thought they were going to last. Like, there was a point where I thought like they were going to fold, but now, they got Dom, they got McDonough. So I don't know. I think it's just a matter of time before they, break that apart because Damian Priest, he has to cash in that senior money in the bank sooner or later. And I don't know if he's going to have a title as well as the tag team titles, but, who knows what WWE wants to do. So next we have the gauntlet match. The gauntlet match that kind of capped off Monday Night Raw. It started with Ricochet and JD McDonough, and they fought for a pretty solid like 5 minutes. And to be honest, I was kind of impressed. I kind of like seeing that type of wrestling. But sooner or later, Ricochet was able to fight off JD McDonough. But on a kind of like a little side note here that I kind of miss the like a cruiserweight kind of division, kind of like a light heavyweight or like featherweight division, where stars like Ricochet, JD McDonough, and before Mustafa Ali left. I don't know. I just think that like I don't know, these kind of superstars will kind of flourish in that and like, have main events and, so to speak. And then since you have the Intercontinental Championship, Gunther in there, Gunther, I believe, is like a heavyweight. But if you're going to keep him in the Intercontinental Championship category, then maybe you should like bring on another belt. I know I read an article like, and there's really rumors that the European Championship will actually come back to light. But I haven't seen the European Championship since I think this is Rob Van Dam. This was like before. This was like late Attitude Era, early Ruthless Aggression era. So that should be interesting. So Ricochet defeated JD McDonough, and then in came Bronson Reed, and he destroyed Ricochet. And then in came Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn, he pushed Bronson Reed to the limit. He kind of had that big guy versus the immovable courage or charisma or enthusiasm. But Sami Zayn was able to defeat Bronson Reed, which was good. Then he came Shinsuke Nakamura, and Shinsuke on a numerous occasions became really, really close to becoming that number one contender to the Intercontinental Championship. But Sami Zayn won. So after Shinsuke Nakamura came in Chad Gable, and I think Chad Gable really showed some pride where he let Sami Zayn get up instead of attacking a man when he's down, for his advantage. He let Sami Zayn get up, recuperate, and they had like an honest one-on-one match. And I thought that was pretty classy. Gable, he lost. Sami Zayn won the champion, no, not the championship, the number one contendership to fight Gunther at WrestleMania, but. I like Chad Gable. I think that they're grooming Chad Gable to be kind of like a Kurt Angle kind of you know, superstar, and you have the integrity, intensity, and intelligence kind of thing, the three eyes of Kurt Angle. But they're keeping Chad Gable around for a reason. And as soon as American Alpha went down, and Jason Jordan was trying to, he was trying to promote his singles career, and that obviously didn't work out. And Chad Gable kind of fell to the side, and we all, as viewers, kind of thought that, oh, okay, this is the end between those two. But I don't know. I think that Chad Gable's entertaining. He's obviously wrestling gifted. He's charismatic. He's very marketable. So I think it's kind of good that WWE kind of, kept him around. So, all right. Well, I hope you like my Monday Night Raw segment. Don't go anywhere. Our next segment is going to be about NXT. So make sure you stay tuned.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
All right. We're back at the NXT preview here. We just got done talking about the preview for Monday Night Raw. Let's go on and move on to NXT. But first, before we move on to any NXT action, I want to remind you to go ahead and hit that tips and donations button so you can, conversate with me. And also, it's at GSMC podcast.net. You go ahead and post your questions, comments, concerns, opinions, some of what you like, some of what you don't like. But we encourage positive feedback. We love, positive vibes. We love peace, love, and positivity all the way over here at GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast. Yeah, don't be shy to go ahead and hit that types and donations button so we can, speak about something cool. All right, my NXT preview, and like I said, about Monday Night Raw, how it was just a bunch of just information, just a bunch of stuff to go over, mainly because kind of Mania is kind of like the mecca of WWE pay-per-views, and as soon as they hit WrestleMania, they'll kind of hit this like reboot, and kind of build up to WrestleMania again. That's kind of like how it is with NXT as well. You have Stand and Deliver coming up, and obviously they're doing a lot of things, a lot of matches, a lot of different promos to kind of, you know, set the stage, so to speak, building momentum toward that significant pay per view. So NXT's tonight, obviously, United on USA Network, 8 o'clock p.m., 7 o'clock Central Time. Um, so what I want to kind of talk about first was how Trick Williams he made his return by attacking his former friend and partner Carmelo Hayes, ultimately causing Carmelo Hayes an opportunity at fighting for the NXT Championship to Tony D'Angelo, which is kind of good. They have that Italian mafia kind of thing going on, so I think that's pretty badass. So I don't know. We'll see what that. I know that was a terrible impersonation. I'm sorry you had to do that, but no. So it was. I kind of think that both of these promising superstars will have single success. And come on, classic wrestling has to, you have tag teams and you have to break them up. And come that breakup comes exclusive, entertaining as hell content. So honestly, I kind of like where they're going here. Hayes turned against his partner on Judgment Day, which it it all builds up because it's like I said, it's the classic storyline. The dissolution of a tag team is just it's just marvelous. And I know I kind of sound like a jerk saying I like it when friends break up, but no, not like that. So a couple of tag teams that broke up in the past that kind of really, really entertained me was we'll start off with Edge and Randy Orton. That was, there that was a pretty good break up right there where they had that last man standing. I think it was actually at the WrestleMania when it was the COVID when they were at the Thunderdome, but I could be wrong. So I thought that was pretty cool. And also, you also have to think of Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose. As soon as the Shield breaks up, they kind of go at it. You know, Dean Ambrose, obviously, without, WB, there, AEW, John Moxley, and Seth Rollins is flourishing as a singles competitor. So you can't really be upset about that. But it was pretty darn entertaining. Pretty darn entertaining. Another one that entertained me a lot was Sasha Banks and Bailey. When they broke up, it was like it was about time because I felt like throughout the shows there was that pot that was stewing, and the lid was like, and then as soon as like Bailey attacked Sasha, all hell broke loose, and it was great to watch. It was really good to watch, in my opinion. And just some, historical references. You have Bret Hart and Owen Hart breaking up and kind of having a feud, which was, pretty good. It was a little before my time, but I know both of those wrestlers were very, very good at what they did. And also Triple H and Shawn Michaels. Ah, it breaks my heart because those are two of my favorite wrestlers. They're on my Mount Rushmore, along with two others. But uh, honestly, Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels, he's the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. I know that's a Bret Hart saying, but anyways, moving on. Um, Also, you have Heartbreak Kid and Marty Jannetty, the Midnight Rockers, breaking up, where they had that barbershop scene where everybody it was thought it was all hunky dory, and Marty Jannetty, they shook hands, and then Shawn Michaels raised up his hand, and then he sweet chin music Marty Jannetty and threw him through the window. It was like, oh, that was a huge shock. It was like, why no, Shawn, Marty's your friend. What are you doing? Like, but that's how they play on the heart tunes of the WWE universe. So I'm a little sensitive. I'm sorry. Um, Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage, they were teammates, but honestly, I'm kind of happy they broke up. I think they kind of created better content when they were apart as opposed to when they were together. And the last but not least, the Brothers of Destruction, Undertaker and Kane. These guys, they're brothers. They're, quote unquote brothers, but, you know, fell into some match between The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels at Bad Blood where Kane came out and everybody was shocked. They're like, "Who is this guy?" And everybody was like, "Oh, that's gotta be Kane." And then Kane came in and just destroyed the Undertaker, and Shawn Michaels got the W. So I was happy. But seeing those two kind of behemoths kind of go at each other, it's pretty darn entertaining. So I gotta respect that. All right, the next we have Oba Femi versus Brooks Jensen. Brooks Jensen trying to break out into the singles wrestler scene, but to be honest, he kind of against the Nigerian wrestler. I think that he kind of bit off more than he can chew. I know you want to establish yourself as a singles wrestler, but hey, man, like this guy's crazy. Like he's the North American champion, man. And this is a huge obstacle that's ahead for Jensen because Oba, sorry, I keep butchering his name. Oba Femi. I'm sorry if I'm butchering it. If you're watching this, Oba, but he won the NXT Breakout Tournament, and he's also the youngest NXT North American champion. So this guy has some stuff. He has some juice, and he's gonna bring it. So if you don't bring your A game, you just become just another notch on the old belt, my friend. Hey, good luck. Good luck, Mr. Jensen. I hope all comes, pretty well to you. Next, we have Shawn Spears making his return to WWE NXT. Well, just WWE in general, because he used to be the Perfect 10, Ty Dillinger. But to be honest, he came back and he kind of seems a little unhinged. He kind of seems a little infringed that he wants to bring out the worst of Ridge Holland and kind of bring out his aggressive side. And he was begging him to hit him with that chair. He was begging him, and he's just been playing mind games. He was playing major mind games with Ridge Holland. So I don't know. Hopefully that all. I think that would be pretty awesome. Pretty awesome to see. A match, and if they make it a WrestleMania, well, it'd probably be a preview show. I don't think it would be on Stand and Deliver. Maybe it would. Maybe it would. Like a no holds barred, last man standing match, or like an ambulance match going old school, buried alive match. We haven't had one of those in a long time, but that'd be pretty interesting. Um, the next thing I got to talk about is William Regal returning to NXT, basically telling Drew Gulag's group the no quarter catch crew. It's an interesting name for a nice little quartet, but so recently the Heritage Cup champion Charlie Dempsey is his name, and I think William Regal, he came in, he was a little upset the way that they kind of are berating the cup because it's kind of like a huge honor as an English wrestler to kind of have. So he doesn't want anyone to mock that kind of championship or that kind of that kind of that gift. You work to make something really prestigious, and then you have someone not take it seriously and kind of spin on it. So William Regal, he's been with the company for a very, very long time. I remember when he started, he used to be the brass knucks guy before Logan Paul was. But I remember the power of the punch. William Regal, pretty cool, pretty cool. Next I have the Wolf Dogs completely dominating Braun Breaker. And the moment I saw Braun Breaker, I knew he looked familiar. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. And it shows that I was right. He is a descendant of Rick Steiner, Scott Steiner, like the Steiner brothers. He has that a whomper too. That like I don't know, like that's like the Steiner brothers. modus apparatus. So I'm no surprised that he's killing it. Like that guy's huge. He's a good wrestler. He knows his cues. He knows how to cut a promo, which is very vital when signing new talent. And of course, I love his tag team partner. Not a lot of people like Baron Corbin, but I think Baron Corbin, he's like on the next level. Like this tag team thing was very, very good for him. And because when Baron Corbin was on the main card with on Monday Night Raw and SmackDown, he was kind of a joke, and it's kind of sad to say because he's like a Golden Gloves champ, and he has like a lot of success outside the ring or outside WWE. That he also is a Money Bank winner. He has a failed cash in, of course, but I don't know. I think that the way they kind of did Baron Corbin's character was a little dirty, but I like him better as his old lone wolf kind of self. So I thought that's pretty awesome to touch on because I really like Baron Corbin at the rate he's going right now with Braun Breaker. There's no doubt in my mind that he's gonna come back to Raw or SmackDown as a tag team and just completely demolish. Like this is something that his character needed. This is something as a superstar he probably needed for like momentum, courage, and just confidence. Confidence, I can imagine, because WWE is a very, very cutthroat industry that if you don't make it within the next 6 months, you're gone. There's some superstars like Keith Lee, Aleister Black, and a couple others that like they're out of the spotlight for a little while, and next thing you get a notification on your phone from Bleacher Report saying that they signed with AEW, Ring of Honor, and New Japan Wrestling. So I guess what I'm trying to say is just appreciate them while they're here. All right. So I'll give a little sneak peek into our next subject. Is SummerSlam 2024. It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. So go ahead and grab another cold drink, grab a snack, and maybe back here. All right.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
All right. Thank you for staying with me. Our last segment, we talked about NXT preview tonight on USA Network, 8 p.m., 7 Central. And the next thing we're going to talk about is WWE SummerSlam 2024. So go ahead and keep your eyes glued on this beautiful face. Just kidding. First and foremost, like here at GSMC Sports Network, we really like to encourage our viewers to just, interact with us. Like, I love someone to talk to. You know, obviously, I talk a lot. I'm a sports podcaster, but I don't know. Just you can go ahead and donate or tip on the gsmcpodcast.net. Um, Type in your comments. I would love to hear what you got to say. Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like, so we can have a nice little convo going here. So, yeah, don't be shy to hit that tips and donations button. All right. So, as promised, we are going to talk about SummerSlam, the biggest party of the summer in 2024, is coming to Cleveland, Ohio. The news actually broke on Logan Paul's Ohio native on his podcast called Impulsive, which is actually that's a pretty clever name, to be honest. I like that. Um, so he announced on Tuesday that that WWE will bring the biggest party of the summer to Cleveland, Ohio. The show would be at the Cleveland Browns Stadium, which is actually the fourth year in a row the WWE chose to have it at a football stadium. So they're kind of, they're thinking big, 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 which is good because WWE, like, it's fun to get into. It's fun to watch. It's fun to kind of believe in these guys. It's fun to, so like I said, if you're not a wrestling fan, time to hop on that bandwagon, sir. Um, this is the first time that wrestling has hosted a SummerSlam. Well, second time. Second, the last time they host a SummerSlam in Cleveland, Ohio was actually in 1996, where in the main event, Shawn Michaels fought Vader. And, Shawn Michaels, the best wrestler in the world, you know, came out on top like Shawn does. HBK doing the HBK kind of thing. You can't be mad at that. Paul also kind of mentioned a couple other Ohio like natives in the sports world that might be attending said pay-per-view. So just kind of go over a little bit of the names. He mentioned Machine Gun Kelly. Machine Gun Kelly, he's a superstar in the music industry. He's a rapper, he's a rocker. Obviously he was rapping first, but when he picked up a guitar and he was playing with his band. I liked a couple of his songs. I think he's dating Megan Fox still. I'm not sure. I'm not a huge pop culture kind of guy, but you know, um, and also he was mentioning his brother, boxing star Jake Paul, joining the fray as well. It'd be kind of interesting to see like how they would kind of integrate them coming together, maybe for a tag team, or with them totally feuding and maybe having like a one-on-one match, in the future. That would be pretty darn cool because it is in both of their hometowns. Like imagine their parents sitting in the stands watching your two sons on one of the biggest pay-per-views in WWE history, SummerSlam. And like yeah, would that bring a tear to your eye? And you'd be happy as parents. Feel like you raised them right. Um, and also, Travis Kelsey and his brother Jason Kelsey were contemplated by Logan Paul of joining the fray. Yeah, we have the Super Bowl champion, and then you have Jason Kelsey, who has recently retired from the Philadelphia Eagles. But uh, come to WWE, come watch some wrestling. Nothing like some retirement and having a couple of drinks. I see him on the football broadcast, and that guy just demolishes beer. I admire his beer drinking abilities and his skills and stuff like that. But come do it at a WWE event, bro. Like, bring your brother Travis and his girlfriend Taylor, like, and then Taylor could be seen, and Taylor could fall in love with wrestling like she fell in love with the NFL this year. So who knows? Maybe we'll get some Swifties on our side. You know. Also, he joked about wrestling LeBron James. LeBron James is from Cleveland. He was drafted by the Cleveland Cavaliers, and he actually won them a championship. Well, he went to Miami, won a couple there with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade and Ray Allen, but then he eventually came home, and Cleveland, we did it, and him, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Love, won a championship against the Golden State Warriors. So I think that was 2015. I want to say 2015. I could be wrong. I could be very, very much wrong. 2018, maybe. I don't know. This is the basketball podcast. Like, why are you hassling me here? I'm just kidding. Moving on. So there's a couple other wrestlers throughout the industry and throughout history that are, Ohio natives. Like just to name a couple of them right here, you have The Miz. The Miz obviously has a show. He was at the Miz and Mrs. with Maurice. Was actually pretty darn entertaining. And him on the screen, very, very entertaining. Like I mentioned before in last podcast, how he made that Intercontinental Championship feel like it was like a Universal Championship or like a World Heavyweight or WWE like championship, just something to strive for. So kind of respect that in the Miz. So he's definitely, hopefully he'll make an appearance there. I haven't seen the Miz. Well, he's been kind of teaming with R-Truth because R-Truth believes that's his best friend, and I don't know, just the way they're handling R-Truth right now with the whole Judgment Day thing it was pretty hilarious. It was pretty hilarious, but to be honest, I'm getting a little tired of it, I guess. But you gotta love R-Truth. I love R-Truth, so Um, Also another Ohio native is Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler, obviously he's not with the company right now, but he's doing good things. He's doing good things. So good for Dolph. Let's cheer him on. Also another Ohio native is Johnny Gargano, part of DIY. Um, he's married to Candice LeRae, who totally just destroyed Maxine Dupree. I don't know if I can root for Johnny Gargano anymore. Yeah, I'm just kidding. No. No, he's a good wrestler. With Tommaso Ciampa, they're very, 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 very good. They have a good tandem offense. They, team with each other pretty well. They have a lot, chemistry. A lot of people think that tag teaming isn't about chemistry, but as viewers, you can see how long these superstars actually, work together. So I don't know, that's kind of cool. He's from Ohio. Um, Another one is Alexa Bliss. You haven't seen Alexa Bliss in a long time. I kind of miss seeing her on there because she was kind of like that wild card. Like she was a good heel. She was a good baby face. She did a skit where she was with Bray Wyatt and she was kind of like this possessed doll with Sister Abigail and she had a doll. I forgot what her name was. Oh, it's gonna kill me all night that I can't remember. But I'll have to Google it after the podcast. But I thought that was, I thought when WWE does writing for Alexa Bliss, I think they kind of book her in like, good segments. And obviously she's a women's champion. I think she's a Grand Slam champion. I don't know if she won the NXT Women's Champion, but I know she won the SmackDown and I know she won the Raw Women's Champion. So it'd be nice to see her come back. I kind of miss seeing her on the tube. She produced some pretty good matches. Next one that I want to talk about is Al Snow. Al Snow, he is from Ohio, and it's crazy because out in Ohio Valley Wrestling, the OVW, he actually trains out there now. He trains superstars, for the next big thing. Al Snow he was a pretty good personality. He had the little head. He was you had to help me. Like he was his portray was him like psychotic. This guy's going crazy. But Al Snow, he's been with the company for a very, very, very long time, and the OVW is one of the, if not the best promotions facilities that WWE has to kind of give these young superstars and kind of bring them up during the developmental program. A couple of noticeable names that went to OVW was Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley obviously doing very, very, very good. But like I said before, I think he could be doing a lot better. I think he has a lot of heavyweight aspirations. But we'll see where WWE takes it. Also, Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre about to fight Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania. So obviously, I think OVW is doing something right there. Also, you have Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar just reinstated by the WWE. It's just a matter of time until his theme song hits that, and everybody's like, "Oh, Brock Lesnar's back!" The Beast incarnate. But to be honest, it's kind of different without Paul Heyman. But it's the Brock Lesnar. I think I just miss his introduction of reigning, defending, undisputed, universal champion, and then like I don't know. I can't even do it. I don't have the voice for it. But he was from the OVW, so Brock Lesnar, shout out, and also John Cena, the Doctor Thugonomics, not the People's Champ, but well, he kind of is. Well, no, I'm just kidding. John Cena is arguably probably one of the best WWE superstars of all time because he had so much success in the ring, he had so much success off the ring, and he's just a good person, all in all. Like he would donate his time toward like sick kids and stuff like that. Like he's just an overall great human being. John Cena is. He's very funny too, actually. Like you see him in movies and stuff like that. Like you see him in Peacemaker. You'd see him in like Trainwreck. Trainwreck, he was pretty funny. I've seen him in Vacation Friends 1 and 2. You know, pretty good, pretty good. He's a pretty good actor. Also, the Fast and Furious franchises, pretty good. Um, Next we have Dave Batista. Dave Batista is also a very, very prominent name from OVW. Dave Batista found success in wrestling. He first started off with Evolution with Triple H, Ric Flair, and Randy Orton, but of course they turned it back on Randy Orton. But Batista was a beast, man. Batista was huge. That man was just the total package. And then when he feuded with Triple H, I think it was in 2016, and they had that like this. I think there was no, it was a steel cage match or Hell in a Cell, And then Batista finally beat Triple H and took the strap. And all in all, I think he deserved it. So I don't want to keep ranting on about that. Randy Orton's also part of OVW, as well as Beth Phoenix and Mickey James. Not to sell their time short, but just to kind of move on here. And yes, indeed, Macho Man Randy Savage is from Ohio, ladies and gentlemen. He was born and raised in Zanesville, and he actually even played minor league baseball for the Cincinnati Reds when he used to be in WWF/WWE. He was introduced, and they said that he was from Florida, but in reality, ladies and gentlemen, Macho Man, Ohio. So you learn something new every day here. So I thought that was pretty cool. So Cleveland, although you don't have any Super Bowls, no need to fret. Um, just remember that you have WWE SummerSlam coming in your backyard. Just to kind of give you a reminder there that WWE SummerSlam is going to be there 2024. And all right, let's go and preview our next segment. What do we got here? A bunch of jumbled up letters. We have Muhammad Ali. We had the news broke out that Muhammad Ali has been inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. So I would like to kind of further elaborate on why exactly is he eligible to be in the WWE Hall of Fame. So go ahead and stick around. All right, all right, all right. And we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast. Just to kind of touch on what we just got done talking about and speaking about was how WWE SummerSlam is going to be at Cleveland, Ohio, in the Cleveland Browns Stadium 2024, as, per Logan Paul in the Impulsive Podcast. Let's kind of break that news right there. But before we get into our next topic, let's go ahead and talk about some tips and donations. Tips and donations are very important to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast. So go ahead if you want to talk to me. If you don't want to talk to me, maybe you can just keep ignoring me. I'm just kidding. No, I'm not taking it that person. But just if you want your comments, concerns on the top of the screen, go ahead and donate to the gsmcpodcast.net. And as always, thank you for tuning in. And if you want your question on top of the list, it would definitely help the show. Positive reviews. We like to send the positive vibes, peace, love, and positivity. And again, the link is gsmcpodcast.net. All right. So let's go and get started into our last, but definitely not least, segment on Muhammad Ali, or the greatest. The greatest, my man, right there. So those who don't really know who Muhammad Ali is, he was a boxer, but he was definitely more than that. Obviously, if the WWE Hall of Fame wants to acknowledge him, the WWE acknowledges greatness. They acknowledge inspirational, just figures. And just because you're not in the wrestling scene all the time doesn't mean you don't necessarily make dividends, or you don't kind of make a mark on society that kind of help the lifeblood of combat sports like pro wrestling, MMA, or boxing. So Muhammad Ali is a three-time world heavyweight champion. He also has a gold medal in 1960 for boxing. He competed in the War of the Worlds, which was an exhibition match between him and pro wrestling WWE legend Antonio Inoki. And I actually went to YouTube and I looked at some footage of this match. And to be honest, it was a little wonky to watch, but then again, like back then, you had 30,000 people watching it. It was probably something new. You're probably like, whoa, like what is going on here? Like you have boxing, wrestling, kicking, all coming together in one to kind of create this huge entertainment conglomerate, which is, entertaining as heck, to be honest. It was on June 26th, 1967 in Tokyo, Japan. Just a little fun fact. Um, I think this kind of was a good introduction for Muhammad Ali to kind of introduce the kind of like the inner sports, like how wrestling can intertwine with boxing superstars, UFC superstars, also sometimes NFL superstars come. Like you had Rob Gronkowski fighting at the Andre the Giant Memorial, and this kind of I thought was kind of like kind of like a nice introduction because the man was good. The man was good at what he did. He had a career of 56 wins and 5 losses, and with 37 knockouts. Oh, I would hate to be those guys. And he made his debut. Well, not debut, but he made his like official wrestling debut as a special guest referee during the very very first WrestleMania match. The WrestleMania match featured Hulk Hogan and Mr. T fighting a Rowdy Roddy Piper and Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. So the match was absolutely in chaos at one point, and it took Muhammad Ali, the greatest of all time, to use his signature right hand to restore order, which was pretty cool. I watched that part as well, and that was pretty badass. And Cowboy Bob Orton jumped on the ropes in the apron, trying to challenge um, the champ Muhammad Ali, but Muhammad Ali like he totally punked him. Like I wonder if Randy Orton like rubs that in his dad's face, like, hey, like you got straight up punked by Muhammad Ali. But to be honest, I think anybody would. Like, I don't know, you could be as tall as like the Giant Gonzalez or Andre the Giant, and Muhammad Ali's coming at you, to kind of, back off there. So I thought that was pretty cool. Muhammad Ali as a complete icon, as a complete, total badass, total badass. Um, so like I said, it was kind of introduced like inner sports. After that, you see WWE bring in like boxers like Mike Tyson on a numerous amount of occasions. I remember when he confronted Sheamus, but most iconically, where he was a special guest referee against Stone Cold Steve Austin and Shawn Michaels, but ultimately turned on Shawn because Mike Tyson had the D Generation X shirt. That was pretty cool. And also Floyd Money Mayweather, also a boxer who fought the Big Show. Um, Also, Tyson Fury, also dabbling in WWE quite a bit. So I thought that was pretty cool. And a lot of people wonder, like, to be honest, when I first saw that he was going to be inducted into WWE Hall of Fame, I kind of thought, why? I was like, why is Muhammad Ali? But it's good to know why this is such a big deal. Is coming up during the 1960s/70s wasn't quite the easiest times for African American athletes to kind of make a name for yourself, kind of make a living, so to speak. It was definitely very very hard. He faced a lot of adversity growing up, a lot of racial segregation, but he was able to just put his head down and just focus on what he really wanted to do was boxing. And I think the world kind of rewarded him for just being such a, humble guy, being patient with society. Obviously, it took society a little longer, but this isn't like like a controversial podcast, it's a sports podcast. But also, you had the civil rights movement going on. Um, he actually refused to be drafted in the Vietnam War, which is which actually takes guts. Like he was drafting and he was like, no, no, thank you. I don't want to be part of a society, or I don't want to defend a country that that doesn't, that refuses to kind of represent the people as a whole. And back in the day, you'd see all the stuff that was happening to their people and stuff like that. So I thought that was kind of cool to kind of stand up for that. A lot of people, especially like, the entertainment industry, like it's not blacklisted to kind of stand up for your rights, but like look what happened to Colin Kaepernick when he knelt during the national anthem. Then he was kind of blackballed by the NFL allegedly, but he was banned for 4 years for doing that. He was banned for 4 years from boxing. He couldn't box for 4 years, and eventually it was overturned by the Supreme Court. He went toe to toe with the federal government, and like Muhammad Ali does all the time, the man wins. The man wins. He was a civil rights activist in the sports entertainment world, an icon, a true inspiration. He was not afraid to stand up to injustice. He was a, I don't know, he was an inspiration. You know, so I think that's the reason why a lot of people should respect Muhammad Ali during, this time of, um, even if it's like 60 years from now, it's very, very prominent in our society, and it's also prominent to kind of, spread the word here. So, all right, that's all I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed my podcast. Thank you for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast presented by the GSMC Podcasting Network. Your support means a lot to us, so remember to go ahead and subscribe to our show, leave positive feedback. It really does make a difference. Really, really does. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. But most importantly, thank you so much, and have a phenomenal day. All right.
Mm-hmm. 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 Mm-hmm.
Let's go.